What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So, slowly over time, we're finally being proven right over and over and over and over again. This is getting outright nuts. It's getting insane at this point. We had Mark Zuckerberg come out this morning with a video talking about they're pretty much getting rid of fact checkers. Just outright getting rid of fact checkers. I got a couple of clips for you guys, but you know me, I don't really like to focus in on the news exactly that much, but I like to focus in on how it's being reported by the corporate press because they love to manipulate everything. And yeah, media definitely is manipulating the crap out of this. Check this out, y'all. Let's get to this right quick because this is insane. Facebook execs fawn over Trump's commitment to free expression while defending end of fact-checking to Fox and Friends. Now, from that headline, sounds like this dude was fawning over Donald Trump. Well, I got a clip from that interview, as a matter of fact, but I went and watched that full interview just to see. And he doesn't fawn over Donald Trump at all. At any point. He does repeat that Donald Trump's going after free speech, blah, 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 blah. He stands up for free speech. He mentioned Trump a handful of times. But he was mostly talking about Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. You want to say he was fawning over Mark Zuckerberg? I could go with that headline. He was definitely not fawning over Trump. If you guys want to see the full interview, go to Mediaite and look up that headline and watch that video. It's right there under the headline. It's weird, I should say, how they title that because he wasn't fawning over Donald Trump, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get into this thing right quick because we got some stuff to go over. Check this out, y'all. Meta's newly appointed head of global affairs was not shy in repeatedly praising President-elect Donald Trump during a Tuesday morning appearance on Fox and Friends.
How was the Biden administration putting pressure on you specifically? Were they calling where they didn't like a post? What did they say, take it down?
Yeah, so Mark talked about this in a letter he sent to the House Judiciary Committee a few months ago. That sort of outlined the way in which we got a lot of pressure around COVID in particular to take down more content, even things like humor and satire about the pandemic and about vaccines. So, we did experience that kind of pressure. The decisions we made ultimately were our own. But there's a real opportunity here with President Trump coming into office with his commitment to free expression for us to get back to those values and really provide space for people to have the kind of discourse and debate they want to have.
Would you do what X did, and that is unleash independent journalists like Matt Taibbi and Bari Weiss and Michael Schellenberg onto forensically go through what you guys are actually repressing, shielding, shadow banning over the last few years? Wouldn't that be part of this cleansing process?
So we've had an opportunity to do a lot of that with the House Judiciary Committee and Chairman Jordan over the last few months and years, and he put out a really thorough report on the experience that we and other companies have had. Honestly, we're pretty focused on the future and the opportunity we have right now with the changes we're making today to really open up the space for debate and expression.
Is the idea to get out of politics totally and focus on just the enterprise of the free market, people debating things? Or is it for Mark Zuckerberg to become like an Elon Musk and be influential as well, work with the next administration? Or a little bit of both? I don't know.
Well, Mark's always going to be Mark Zuckerberg, but I think there is a real opportunity to work with the new administration, both on free expression, but also on American leadership and technology and innovation. This is something we've seen President Trump is really focused on, making sure that we maintain U.S. competitiveness and leadership on technology, things like AI. Those are obviously super important to our company and our industry, and we'll look forward to working with the new administration.
All right, so there's a couple takeaways from that just right off the jump. Okay, that was pretty much the entire interview right there, right? That's just a segment, but what I'm getting at is basically the mentions of Trump, that's what they were. Throughout the whole thing, it was just, oh, well, we got a new administration. We have a chance to work with the Trump administration. Where was the fawning over Donald Trump? That's what I would like to know from Mediaite. Like, how can they legitimately and, honestly and openly put this headline out there talking about he was fawning over Donald Trump. Like, who are you trying to lie to here? Who are you trying to manipulate? What are you trying to get at? I don't understand these people, but let's dip into what they were talking about. So I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but that was an open admittance to government censorship. Oh, well, it was ultimately our decision to make. Right, when you got the federal government putting pressure on you to censor people, and you've got all these people, fact checkers and censors, moderators, or whatever. Yeah, of course they're going to do it. He's trying to take responsibility for that. Well, it was our decision, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm sorry. You know, I understand that that's how that's supposed to work, and that's how that did work. But the simple fact that the government was putting pressure on these people to censor Americans, like he said, over comedic content, satire, jokes. They were censoring jokes, you guys. The federal government was censoring jokes outright. That's just craziness. But, you know, I love this complete 180 spin coming from these people. I've got a couple of clips of Mark Zuckerberg also I want to show you guys, because Mark Zuckerberg also admits just outright and openly that the federal government was pressuring the hell out of them to censor you.
Hey everyone, I want to talk about something important today, because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation.
Did you happen to catch that little sidebar right there that he mentioned? Yeah, sure, he openly admitted governments, but did you catch what he said right after that?
Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more.
Notice he said governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. That's very, very interesting. Why would legacy media, why would these people pressure Facebook, X, Instagram, pressure all these social media platforms to censor people? Who gives them the right to pressure social media platforms to censor people? I wonder what the deal is with that. I would love for him to expound upon that a little bit more. I would just love to hear his thoughts as to why he used those specific words, legacy media, and exactly who the hell he was talking about right there, because that's very interesting to me. That is something I haven't heard of yet. The legacy media censoring people? What's really going on with that? But you love the 180 spin here. It's very convenient, isn't it? Like, what I'm getting from this is, sure, this is all great. I've got another clip, which is, you know, the cherry on top. But what's funny about this is the timing, right? Why are they just now doing this? Why are we just now getting our free speech back? Is it because of the Biden administration, right? Were these people just running scared because of the Biden administration? You know, what do these globalists have to do with this? Yeah, I'm sorry. I know I've mentioned that a couple of times in the past few videos, but I had somebody in my comment section, you know who you are, talking about the WEF and all these people. So I went and did a deep dive into the globalist movement, the Davos types. Yes, those people are outright evil, folks. Once again, you will own nothing and be happy about it. Living the pie and eat the bugs type of stuff here. These people are evil outright. They're trying to take over the world. That's why they call it globalist movement. They want a one world government, and they don't want it to be like the United States. That's why they're currently trying to destroy the United States. This is why we have people like George Soros going around sowing division all over the place, right? Sowing chaos by, getting all these Soros-backed DAs, these DAs that refuse to prosecute crimes. It is absurd. But, not to get too far off the topic, But one of the globalist agenda items is censorship outright, because you can't have a populist movement that is informed, right? You can't have your population informed, in other words. They can't be. They've got to be. You got to treat them like mushrooms. You feed them crap and keep them in the dark. That's what the globalists want. And I'm just wondering, like, did Donald Trump actually just destroy the global elitist movement here, the WEF and all these places? Did he do that? That's my question to the comments section out there. But I've got another clip of Mark Zuckerberg. Like I said, it's the cherry on top. Then we're going to discuss it after that. Check this out, y'all.
The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far. So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. The problem is that the filters make mistakes, and they take down a lot of content that they shouldn't. So by dialing them back, we're going to dramatically reduce the amount of censorship on our platforms. We're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content. The reality is that this is a trade-off. It means we're going to catch less bad stuff, but we'll also reduce the number of innocent people's posts and accounts that we accidentally take down. Fourth, we're bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed. So we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now, and we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this content again. So we're going to start phasing this back into Facebook, Instagram, and Threads while working to keep the communities friendly and positive. Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas.
Boom. And there it is right there, folks. Moving it from California and basing it in Texas. There you go. You might think, well, what's that going to do, right? You get all these liberal types, right? Like he mentioned in that video, the moderators and these fact checkers were way too biased. You've got very, very biased people in California. That's where all these, right, you can't get away with anything over there. That's why conservatives were being banned at a much higher rate, like orders of magnitude higher rate than liberals were, because these people were highly biased, far left nut jobs that were moderating for these companies. And we saw it outright. Once again, these are all very good things. And I'm being presented with something, and I'm not exactly sure how to take it. I feel like we just won. We won everything that we've been screaming about for the past 4 years, right? Just no more censorship, or at least tone it way down. Get rid of the bad people, sure. But, normal political discourse, you get censored over that kind of crap. Now, I'm not one that's on Facebook all that much, but I am heavily on YouTube, and I am heavily on X. Go over there and follow, by the way. But, these things, once again, I'm being presented with something, and I'm not exactly sure how to take it, because it just seems way too much, way too fast, right? All right, it just seems like it's too good to be true. And you know what they say about something that sounds like it's too good to be true? Hang on, it probably is too good to be true. So I'm going to hold my tongue on this. I'm going to hold my freaking tongue. But, you know, I started taking it a little bit more seriously when I heard he was moving everything to Texas. This is because he can, you know, fire all of those people. Hopefully that's what he does. He doesn't just move these people to Texas, right? We got the community notes. This is great because, you know, that's a lot better than a biased fact checker. Because you go to the community notes on X, and they're pretty much 100% accurate almost all the time. Their community notes are the most accurate fact-checking outfit, I guess, that there is, that I've come across at least. It's great. So this is good. You get your biases out of there. You know, Texas, they've got a large liberal population, so it's not going to be totally free from this, but you're in an area that's a lot more balanced. I'll say it that way. You're not so one-sided with this. But this all sounds really, really too good to be true, if you ask me. It sounds like a huge win for nationalism, if you will, and don't let the liberals fool you into thinking that nationalism is a bad thing, and that means you're a bigot and a racist and a misogynist and all this other stuff. That's not what that means. It just means you love your country. That means you put your country first. That's all that means. That is all that means. So don't let anybody fool you. Don't let them ruin that name, because that's exactly what it is. America first. That's the MAGA movement. We do care about the rest of the world, for sure. We want the rest of the world to be just as well off as we are. We want other societies to function like a well-oiled machine, just like we do. We don't want bad for these other countries. We just don't care that much, right? We care about our own country first. Let's fix our problems first, and then once we have all of our problems resolved, then let's go look to the world to resolve their problems. But until we can fix our own issues, that's what I say, at least. But, you know, this seems like a major win. And once again, I'm going to hold my tongue on this and wait and see what happens and see exactly how good this is. Because, once again, sounds way too good to be true. And that's way too quick. Donald Trump's not even in office yet, and he's already getting all these major wins. He put out a press conference today I watched. I was like kind of blown away by this. He's talking about renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, right? In one of the most extraordinary inclusive moments of Donald Trump's life, probably, right? You might be thinking, well, how's that inclusive? Well, isn't this North America? Right? Mexico and that's Central America, and then you got South America. Well, it's the Gulf of America, including all of the entire thing. So, right? So Donald Trump can be very, very inclusive, if you will. I just had to throw that in there because I love it. I love hearing about it. I hope we're able to buy Greenland. I don't know what that's going to do. Their population is really low, but, you know, hey, let's go ahead and purchase that. See if Denmark wants to get rid of that, y'all. But y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. That's all I got for this one, y'all. Y'all let me know. Y'all going to hold y'all's tongue too? Do y'all buy into this right off the top? Y'all think he's being serious? It sounds like he's being genuine, but yeah, I'm not so sure about that, y'all. I'm a wait and see. That's where I'm at least. But y'all let me know what y'all think. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.